Yumi and the Whispering Ice Cavern. Chapter 1. The Secret in the Mountain. The sun burned white in the August sky. It was the kind of heat that made the air above the road shimmer like waves on the ocean. Cicadas screamed in the trees, their loud chorus echoing through the quiet seaside town of Mahama. The salty scent of the sea mixed with the sweet smell of summer grass, and even the wind felt heavy. At the edge of this town, in a small wooden house with a red-tiled roof, 11-year-old Yumi Tanaka lay flat on the tatami floor. Her face was pressed against a small electric fan, and her black hair stuck to her cheeks with sweat. She let out a long, dramatic sigh. "Mom," she moaned, "I'm going to melt into a puddle. I'll become Yumi soup." From the kitchen came the sound of a knife slicing through watermelon. Her mother's cheerful laugh followed. "Then drink lots of water, Yumi soup. Or go play by the river. It's cooler there." But Yumi didn't want the river. She wanted something different. Something exciting. She had always loved exploring old temples, forgotten paths in the hills, mysterious caves the adults told her to stay away from. Somewhere out there, she believed, a secret was waiting for her. Yumi's best friend, Daiichi Nakamura, lived 2 streets over. He was in the same 5th grade class, a boy with messy hair that always stuck up in round glasses that kept sliding down his nose. Daiichi loved sketching everything he saw: birds, bugs, strange clouds, and always carried a notebook full of drawings and maps. Where Yumi was bold and quick to act, Daiichi was cautious and liked to think things through. But somehow they understood each other perfectly. When they were together, the ordinary summer days in Mahama often turned into small adventures. That evening, after the sun dipped low and the sky turned orange, Yumi sat on her porch with Daiichi. They each held a slice of cold watermelon, its juice dripping down their fingers. Fireflies blinked softly above the rice fields, their green light floating like tiny stars. "Hey, Daiichi," Yumi said between bites. "Have you ever heard about the ice cavern on Mount Hikari?" Daiichi frowned. "Ice? In summer?" "Yeah." Yumi lowered her voice, like telling a secret. "My grandpa told me about it. He said there's a cave deep in the mountain where it's always winter. Even in August, there's snow inside. And..." She leaned closer, her eyes sparkling. "There's a treasure hidden there, something left by the mountain spirits." Daiichi's mouth dropped open. "Treasure? Like gold?" "I don't know," Yumi grinned. "But don't you want to see it?" Daiichi hesitated. "What if there are ghosts? Then we'll make friends with them," Yumi said with a laugh. The hidden map. The next morning, Yumi woke early. The sky was pale blue, cicadas already singing outside. She tiptoed into her late grandfather's study, a dusty little room filled with seashells, old books, and wooden carvings. On the highest shelf, she found a wooden box she had never opened before. Inside, folded neatly, was a yellowed piece of paper, a hand-drawn map. The map showed winding rivers, mountain trails, and strange symbols. Stars, snowflakes, and animals she didn't recognize. At the center of the map was a snowflake mark right where Mount Hikari stood. "This has to be it," Yumi whispered, her heart beating fast. Later that day, she showed the map to Daiichi. His eyes went wide. "Yumi, these landmarks are real. I know this bridge and that river. This might actually lead somewhere." "Then let's go," Yumi said, grinning. "Tomorrow morning, we'll pack snacks, water, and a flashlight." Daiichi gulped. "You're serious?" "Of course," Yumi laughed. "It's summer break. What else are we going to do, melt at home?" The next day, the 2 friends set off at sunrise. Their backpacks were stuffed with rice balls, a water bottle, a flashlight, and Daichi's notebook. The trail up Mount Hikari was narrow but shaded by tall cedar trees. Sunlight streamed through the leaves, painting the ground in shifting patterns of gold. As they climbed, the air grew cooler. The sounds of town faded, replaced by the rustle of leaves and distant bird calls. Strange stone markers appeared along the path, each carved with snowflakes and stars. "Do you think these are warnings?" Daichi asked, adjusting his glasses. "Maybe," Yumi said, tracing the carvings with her finger. "Or maybe they're guiding us to the treasure." The higher they went, the stranger it became. Their breath turned faintly white, even though it was the middle of August. The ground glittered faintly, as if tiny ice crystals were forming on the rocks. Then, faintly, they heard it, a whisper carried on the wind. "Come closer, come closer." Daichi froze. "Tell me you heard that." Yumi nodded, her heart pounding, not with fear, but excitement. The trees opened suddenly, revealing a dark cave entrance in the side of the mountain. Cold air rushed out, like the breath of winter itself. Yumi stepped forward, eyes wide with wonder. "This is it," she whispered. "The Whispering Ice Cavern." Chapter 2. The Guardian of Ice. Cold air wrapped around Yumi's face as she stepped into the cave. It felt like stepping into another world winter inside summer. Her sweaty skin cooled instantly, and she shivered. "Daichi," she whispered, "can you see this?" Daichi adjusted his glasses. His breath came out in a white puff. I can't believe it," he said softly. "It's snow. In August." The cave glittered with light. Ice crystals hung from the ceiling like long glass daggers. The walls sparkled blue and white, reflecting the faint sunlight from the entrance. Tiny flakes of snow floated in the air, glowing like little stars. Farther inside, the soft whispering grew louder. It sounded almost like a song. "Come closer, follow the light." They walked carefully, their footsteps crunching on frozen ground. The further they went, the colder it became. The sound of dripping water echoed through the cavern, each drop freezing as it touched the floor. "Do you think this is dangerous?" Daichi asked, hugging his backpack. "Of course it is," Yumi answered with a grin. "That's what makes it fun." She led the way, her flashlight beam dancing across the icy walls. Strange shapes appeared. Animals carved into the ice, stars etched into the walls. Some looked ancient, older than the town itself. After a long walk, the tunnel opened into a vast chamber. At its center lay a frozen lake, smooth and shining like a giant mirror. A faint blue glow pulsed beneath the ice like a heartbeat. "Whoa," Yumi gasped. "This is beautiful." Daichi knelt and touched the ice carefully. "It's warm. No, wait, it feels alive." Suddenly, the whispering stopped. The cave fell silent. Then a gentle voice echoed all around them. "Who enters my home?" Yumi and Daichi jumped back. The ice beneath their feet shimmered, and from the center of the lake rose a figure made of glowing frost. It was small, no bigger than a child, but its body sparkled like snow under moonlight. Two soft wings spread from its back, and its eyes were the color of the winter sky. "I am Fuyu, guardian of this cavern," the figure said, its voice calm but powerful. "Why have you come here, children of summer?" Yumi swallowed hard, but she didn't feel afraid. Somehow the figure felt kind. "We found a map," she said. "We wanted to see if the story was true." Fuyu tilted its head. "Few humans find this place. Fewer still enter with pure hearts." Daichi stepped forward nervously. We didn't mean to disturb you." Fuyu's icy wings shimmered. "You are not here by mistake. The mountain called you. The blue glow beneath the lake flickered weakly. Fuyu looked down, sadness in its eyes. The heart of ice is dying, it said quietly. Without it, this mountain will lose its balance. The summers will grow hotter, the rivers will dry, and your town will suffer. Yumi's eyes widened. Can we help? Fuyu nodded slowly. There is a way. 3 shards of the heart are scattered deep within this cavern. Bring them to me and I can restore the heart. But beware, the mountain has shadows that guard these shards. They will test your courage. Yumi clenched her fists. We'll do it. Right, Daichi? Daichi hesitated, then nodded. Yeah, we'll try. Fuyu's wings glowed softly. Then your journey begins. Follow the light and trust each other. The chamber grew brighter and a faint path of glowing snowflakes appeared, leading deeper into the cavern. Yumi and Daichi exchanged a glance, nervous but excited. They took their first step forward, unaware of the trials waiting for them in the frozen heart of the mountain. Chapter 3. The first trial, the frozen bridge. The glowing path of snowflakes led Yumi and Daichi deeper into the cavern. The air grew colder with every step, and the walls shimmered with pale blue light. Their breath formed white clouds as they walked side by side. Do you think the first shard is close? Daichi whispered. Yumi tightened her grip on the flashlight. I hope so, but I think it's going to test us. The tunnel twisted and suddenly opened into a huge space. Yumi stopped, her eyes wide. Before them stretched a bridge made entirely of ice. It was narrow, only wide enough for one person at a time. The bridge hung high above a deep, dark chasm. Far below, frozen spikes of ice jutted upward like teeth. A cold wind howled through the cavern, shaking the bridge and making it creak. Daichi swallowed hard. We have to cross that? Yumi nodded. Fuyu said the shards would test our courage. This must be one of them. At the far end of the bridge, something faintly glowed, a piece of blue ice pulsing like a heartbeat. Yumi stepped onto the bridge first. The ice cracked softly under her feet, but held firm. She moved slowly, arms out for balance. Don't look down, she muttered to herself. Daichi followed, gripping the rope rail tightly. His hands trembled. Halfway across, a sudden gust of wind roared through the cavern. The bridge swayed violently. Daichi froze, unable to move. Yumi, he cried. I can't do it. You can, Yumi shouted back. Just keep moving, one step at a time. The whispering voice returned, louder this time. Are you brave enough, or will you fall? A shadow formed in the wind. A figure made of ice and mist, floating above the bridge. It blocked their path, eyes glowing white. Who dares to cross my bridge? The figure boomed. We need the shard, Yumi yelled, standing tall. Please let us pass. The figure's voice echoed through the cavern. Prove your courage. Show trust. If one falls, both fall. The wind grew stronger. Yumi turned to Daichi. Hold my hand, she called. Daichi hesitated, then reached out. Their hands clasped tight. Step by step, they moved together, balancing each other as the bridge swayed. The shadow watched silently. When they reached the center of the bridge, the wind suddenly stopped. The figure dissolved into sparkling snow. You have passed, the whisper said softly. At the far side of the bridge, the glowing ice shard rested on a pedestal of crystal. Yumi picked it up carefully. The shard was warm, pulsing softly in her hands. One down, Yumi whispered, smiling. 2 more to go. Daichi let out a long breath. I think I don't like bridges anymore. Yumi laughed, the sound echoing in the icy chamber. Come on, let's see what's next. The glowing snowflake path appeared again, leading deeper into the heart of the mountain. The next trial awaited. Chapter 4. The second trial, the singing crystals. The path of glowing snowflakes led Yumi and Daiichi deeper into the frozen heart of the mountain. The walls around them became smoother, almost like glass, reflecting their faces as they walked. Their footsteps echoed softly, and the air felt strange quiet, yet alive with a faint hum. "Do you hear that?" Yumi whispered. Daiichi tilted his head. "It sounds like music." The hum grew louder as they moved forward. It wasn't just one note, but many high and low, soft and clear blending together like a choir of bells. The tunnel opened into a breathtaking chamber. Hundreds of tall crystal pillars rose from the ground like frozen trees. Each crystal glowed faintly blue, pink, green, and sang a single note. Together they created a gentle melody that filled the air. "It's beautiful." Daiichi breathed. His glasses caught the shimmering light, reflecting tiny rainbows. Yumi walked closer to one of the pillars and touched it. The crystal pulsed and sang a higher note, harmonizing with the others. "Whoa, did you hear that? It changed when I touched it." At the far end of the chamber stood a large crystal door, carved with a snowflake symbol. 3 smaller crystals floated in front of it, glowing faintly but silent. Daiichi stepped forward, studying the patterns. "I think we have to play the right notes, like a song." "But what song?" Yumi asked. Daiichi looked thoughtful. Then his face lit up. "Remember the lullaby your grandpa always sang? The one about the stars?" Yumi's eyes widened. "Hoshi no Komoriuta." "Yes, he used to hum it every night." Yumi closed her eyes and began to hum the tune softly. Her voice echoed through the chamber, blending with the crystal's song. As she sang, Daiichi touched the pillars one by one, matching the melody. Each crystal responded, glowing brighter and joining the harmony. The song grew stronger, filling the air with light and warmth. The frozen ground shimmered, and the snowflake symbol on the door began to glow. Suddenly, the music stopped. The crystals turned dark, and the chamber shook. From the largest pillar, a figure emerged, tall, elegant, made of pure ice and light. It held a staff of crystal and looked down at the children with glowing eyes. "Who dares to awaken the song of the mountain?" The figure boomed. "We're here to save the heart of ice," Yumi shouted. "We need the shard." The figure's voice softened, almost like a sigh. "Then sing not with voice alone, but with heart." Yumi and Daiichi looked at each other. Without words, they understood. This wasn't about perfect notes. It was about trust, courage, and hope. Together, they began to sing quiet at first, then stronger. Daiichi's shaky voice joined Yumi's clear one. The melody echoed through the hall, imperfect but full of feeling. The crystals responded. One by one, they lit up, forming a brilliant rainbow of light. The guardian closed its eyes, smiling, and dissolved into snow. The crystal door opened with a soft hum. Inside was a pedestal holding a glowing blue shard, brighter than the first. Yumi picked it up, feeling warmth spread through her hands. "2 down," she whispered. "1 more to go." Daiichi exhaled, relieved. "These tests are getting harder." "Yeah," Yumi said with a grin, "but we're getting stronger." The glowing snowflake path appeared once more, leading them toward the final and most dangerous trial. Chapter 5. The third trial, the frozen lake. The snowflake path glowed faintly under Yumi and Daiichi's feet as they walked deeper into the cavern. The air was colder than ever, biting at their skin and numbing their fingers. Their breaths came out in white clouds, and even the sound of their footsteps felt heavy in the silence. Finally, the tunnel opened into a massive chamber. A frozen lake stretched before them, so wide they could barely see the other side. The ice was smooth as glass, reflecting the pale blue glow from the ceiling above. In the very center of the lake floated the last shard, glowing softly like a trapped star. Yumi stepped closer to the edge. The air was so still she could hear her own heartbeat. "That's it," she whispered. "The last shard." Daichi stared at the lake nervously. "How do we get to it?" "There's no bridge," Yumi murmured. "We'll have to walk." Daichi hesitated. "On that, what if the ice breaks?" Yumi smiled faintly, though her own stomach tightened. "Then we'll walk carefully." Together, they stepped onto the ice. It groaned softly beneath their weight, but held. Their reflections moved with them, two small figures in a world of white and blue. Halfway across, the glow of the shard grew brighter. The air shifted. A faint whisper rose around them, different from before. This whisper was darker, lower, almost like a growl. "You should not be here." Yumi froze. "Did you hear that?" Daichi nodded, eyes wide. "It's different this time." The ice beneath their feet began to crack, thin white lines spiderwebbing outward. From the cracks, a black mist seeped upward, curling like smoke. It gathered in the air, forming a tall, shadowy figure with glowing red eyes. "I am the shadow of the mountain," the voice boomed. "The heart of ice belongs to me." Yumi stepped in front of Daichi, gripping the shard they already carried. "We're here to save the heart, not steal it." The shadow laughed, a chilling sound that echoed across the cavern. "Save? You cannot even save yourselves." A sudden gust of freezing wind knocked them off their feet. The ice screeched and splintered under the force. Yumi slid across the surface, grabbing Daichi's hand at the last second. "Don't let go," she shouted. "I'm trying," Daichi yelled, his glasses sliding down his nose. The shadow loomed over them, its form twisting and shifting. Black tendrils lashed out, striking the ice and leaving deep cracks wherever they touched. Yumi's mind raced. They couldn't fight this thing, not yet. They had to reach the shard. "Daichi," she gasped, pulling herself up. "We have to get to the center, now." Together they ran, slipping and stumbling as the shadow chased them across the cracking ice. Every step felt like it might be their last. The shard was close now, just a few more meters. Behind them, the shadow roared. "You cannot escape me." Chapter 6. The Shadow and the Heart of Ice. Yumi's boots slid on the ice as she and Daichi stumbled toward the glowing shard in the center of the frozen lake. The shadow loomed behind them, tall and shifting, its red eyes burning like coals in the blue darkness. "Run, Daichi!" Yumi shouted, pulling him forward. "I'm trying." Daichi gasped, clutching his notebook tight. His breath came out in white puffs, mixing with the mist swirling around them. Every step cracked the ice. The sound echoed like breaking glass, sharp and loud. The frozen lake groaned beneath them, as if warning them that time was running out. Finally, Yumi reached the pedestal of crystal in the middle of the lake. The last shard floated above it, glowing with pure blue light. She grabbed it with trembling hands. The moment she touched it, a surge of warmth spread through her body, filling her chest with courage. "Daichi, we have all three," she cried. "We can fix the heart now." But the shadow's voice rumbled like thunder. "You think you can restore it? Foolish children, the heart of ice belongs to me now." The shadow's tendrils lashed out, striking the pedestal and shattering it. Ice shards flew through the air. Yumi shielded her face as Daichi fell to the ground with a cry. "Give me the shards," the shadow hissed. "Give me your light and I will let you leave alive." Yumi stood firm, clutching the glowing pieces against her chest. "Never!" the shadow roared, shaking the cavern. Cracks raced across the frozen lake, splitting the ground between Yumi and Daichi. "Yumi!" Daichi shouted, reaching out. The ice broke beneath him, and he slid toward the dark water below. "Daichi!" Yumi screamed. Without thinking, she threw herself forward, grabbing his hand just before he fell. Her body hit the ice hard, pain shooting through her arm, but she held on with everything she had. Suddenly, a soft light appeared above them. Fuyu, the guardian of the cavern, floated in midair, wings glowing brighter than ever. "Yumi, Daichi listened to me." Fuyu's voice rang clear. "The shadow is part of the heart itself. It was born from fear and greed. To defeat it, you must not fight with anger, but with harmony." "Harmony?" Yumi gasped. "Combine the shards," Fuyu urged. "Sing the song of the mountain, the same melody that awakened the crystals. Only together can you restore the balance." Yumi's heart pounded. She pulled Daichi back to safety, and together they clutched the 3 shards. The pieces glowed brighter when they touched, as if longing to become whole. "Daichi," Yumi whispered. "Do you remember the lullaby? The one from the crystal room?" He nodded, breathless. "Yeah, let's do it." Hand in hand, they began to hum. At first, it was soft, shaky, but as the melody grew, the shards responded. A radiant light burst from their hands, forming a single, shining heart of ice. The shadow screamed, writhing in pain. "No, stop this!" But the song grew stronger. Pure, hopeful, unstoppable. The heart's light spread across the cavern, pushing back the darkness. "Yumi!" Daichi shouted over the roar. "It's working!" The shadow's red eyes softened, turning blue, then white. Its form melted into snowflakes, scattering into the air. For a moment, silence filled the cavern, peaceful and still. Fuyu descended, tears in their glowing eyes. "You did it. The balance is restored." The heart of ice floated above them, glowing with steady, calm light. The cavern walls shimmered like stars in a midnight sky. Yumi fell to her knees, exhausted but smiling. We saved it." Daichi sat beside her, glasses fogged from the cold. "I thought we were done for," he admitted, laughing weakly. Fuyu smiled gently. "You were chosen because of your courage and your bond. Remember this moment, for the mountain will never forget." As the heart of ice rose to its rightful place, the cavern trembled, not in anger, but in rebirth. The frozen lake glowed with new life, and a soft wind carried the whisper of the mountain's gratitude. Yumi and Daichi held each other's hands, knowing their adventure was not over yet, but the hardest part had passed. The cavern was quiet now. No whispers, no roaring wind. Only the soft sound of water dripping from the icicles above. The heart of ice floated gently in the center of the lake, glowing with calm blue light. The darkness that had haunted the mountain was gone. Yumi and Daichi stood side by side, holding hands. Their breaths were still fast, their clothes damp from the cold, but their hearts felt warm. "Is it over?" Daichi asked softly. Yumi nodded, her eyes on the glowing heart. "Yeah, we saved it." A soft flutter of wings echoed through the chamber. Fuyu appeared, shining brighter than ever, their gentle face filled with gratitude. "Thank you, children," Fuyu said, their voice like a breeze through snow. "You have restored the mountain's balance. The summers will no longer burn so fiercely, and the rivers will flow with life again." Yumi smiled, tears welling in her eyes. "I'm glad we could help. But Fuyu, what about you?" The guardian tilted their head, a soft snowflake drifting from their hair. "My duty is done. When the heart is whole, I return to my long sleep. But know this, you are always welcome here. The mountain will remember your names." Daichi's eyes widened. "We won't see you again?" Fuyu smiled gently. Not in this form, but when you look at the first snow of winter, you will feel me near. A sudden light filled the cavern. The heart of ice rose higher, sending out waves of soft, shimmering energy. The walls of the cave glowed like stars, and for a moment, it felt like the night sky had descended underground. The ground trembled, not in fear, but in farewell. A wind, warm and cold at the same time, swirled around Yumi and Daichi, carrying them toward the entrance of the cavern. "Goodbye," Yumi shouted, tears running down her cheeks. "Thank you," Daichi called, his voice echoing through the crystal halls. "Farewell, brave ones," Fuyu whispered as their form dissolved into 1,000 glowing snowflakes. When Yumi opened her eyes, she was standing at the foot of Mount Hikari. The sun was bright, the cicadas were singing, and the hot summer wind brushed her face. The snow and ice were gone, replaced by green trees and the smell of the sea. For a moment, she wondered if it had all been a dream. But then she felt the necklace around her neck, a small crystal shard, glowing faintly blue. She looked at Daichi, who was staring at the same necklace on his chest. They smiled at each other, no words needed. As they walked back to town, the sound of cicadas felt softer, and the heat no longer bothered them. They had faced something bigger than themselves. They had grown braver. Yumi looked up at the clear summer sky. "I wonder if Fuyu can see us right now." Daichi adjusted his glasses and smiled. "I think so. Maybe in the clouds, or in the snowflakes we'll see in winter." Yumi grinned, feeling a mix of sadness and happiness in her chest. "Then, let's make another promise." "What promise?" Daichi asked. "That we'll go on another adventure someday," Yumi said. "Together." Daichi nodded. "Yeah, together." The two friends walked down the path, the sun warm on their faces, the cool memory of the mountain forever in their hearts. And far above in the silent sky, a single snowflake drifted down shining in the summer light.